Atkins Academic and Technology High School, and I am proud to represent the Ken Carlson Salvation Army and Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joshua. I knew there was something special about that kid. I walked in and he walked over the table. This was early, about 30 minutes before we started. Looked me right in the eye, introduced himself, and that's the goal, right? I mean, that's a great start, and I don't think any of us would disagree with the fact that this young man has a great future. Thank you for those words, Joshua. Well, our featured speaker is no stranger to Winston-Salem. We're so proud to call Chris one of our own. I remember this past year, as part of our coverage of Wake Forest basketball, we were working on an interview with Chris, and I was speaking with him on the cell phone, my cell phone. And when I hung up, my youngest teenage daughter said, "Who was that?" So it's Chris Paul. You know, like I talk to Chris every day. And she gives me that "shut up." Rock star, right? But what has been so satisfying, I think, for so many of us is to watch Chris go on and share his platform as one of the best basketball players on the planet in the NBA by using that spotlight off the court to create opportunities for young people. The CP3 Foundation has become a valuable part of all of the communities where Chris touches each and every year. And one thing, too, his family has never, ever, ever forgotten its roots. And we're so proud of that. And one of the evidences of that is Chris's annual basketball camp that's going on right now here in town. He's been a committed husband, father of his lovely children, committed son and a brother. And before we hear from Chris, we're all looking forward to that. We're going to watch a little Chris. Here's 2.5 minutes.
With 8 seconds to go in the half.
Bryant's done a good job containing the dribble.
Paul almost lost it. 2 seconds left. Kobe defending Paul. Paul hits it at the buzzer. What a half.
This is an exceptional pullback dribble. Through his legs to create space against the bigger Bryant and knocks in. Finishing their defense. They've got to block out these perimeter guys who are crashing from the three-point line.
Oh, Chris Paul, what a move.
Wow. Crossover between the legs. Great change of speed and change of direction. So easy. Just tremendous footwork.
Paul the lob, oh boy! Minutes, he's got 21 points. And the Clippers trying to get their 26th win of the season, leading the Lakers. Bryant defending, 7 to shoot. Paul with 5. Paul with the jumper, knocks it down over Bryant.
Well, again, the little step back. Bryant lunging at him to try to contest. Just a big time.
Pass was a little off. He deferred. 8 on the shot clock here.
No time to still get a stop.
Chris Paul wheels in the lane and scores over Parker. Timeouts.
We'll take a look ourselves. You're not going to change it now. Tony's still moving just a little bit, and I know he's heated about it because it's in the guts of the game. But at this point, it's apparent that they're going to let the guys decide the outcome.
8 minutes. We've seen good stretches, but they've never put together a solid 48 minutes. They're almost 3/4 of the way there right now.
Yeah, I've seen 36 pretty good minutes.
20-point lead for the Clippers coming up on 2 minutes to play in this first half. Beautiful moves by Paul and
offense. But if you become too dependent too often, Blake's running with him.
Slam dunk!
Yeah, I think he's pretty good, right? The late Skip Prosser used to say Chris Paul is the straw that stirs the drink. Chris Paul.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. It's probably the best introduction I've ever had in life. But man, first I just want to say how honored and privileged I am to be here. This is a unbelievable event. And before I get started, first I want to say to the Kernersville Corps singing group, that was unbelievable. Those kids, that was amazing. And definitely give them a hand. And if they have a spot for a 4-year-old kid, my son is available. My son is available because I don't think people realize how much concentration, time, and stuff that it takes to do what those kids did. So a big round of applause for them. And also Joshua Dunbar. I mean, that speech, how am I supposed to follow that? I'm serious. I was sitting there and I told my wife, how am I supposed to follow that? Because he did an outstanding job. And I'm one of those people that, I'm 28 years old and I came into a league where, I was a rookie. You forget in life at times that you have to start over. When you're in middle school, when you get to the 8th grade, you're running to school, and then the next year you go to high school and you have to start all over again as a freshman. And then you get to college. As a senior in high school, you run into school, then I got to Wake as a freshman, and I went back down to the bottom of the totem pole. And you get to the NBA, and I remember I felt like I knew it all, but once again, as a rookie, I'm back at the bottom, and I felt like I was a little bit more knowledgeable than some of the guys who were in the league, but you have to learn, and I'm one of those people that don't feel like because you're older, you know everything. There are young people here that are just as smart as us that know things, and Josh, I promise you, I was sitting there glued to my seat listening to everything you said because yeah, I'm a professional in what I do, but I'm always trying to learn. And what you just said, it came from your heart, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So for me, from the great Franklin Roosevelt, he said, be sincere. He said, be sincere, and he said, be seated. Be seated. So I'm going to be brief and be seated. So this will be very quick. So for me, growing up here in Winston-Salem was unbelievable. Obviously I've been blessed and fortunate to go on the ride of my life, which is still continuing at the present time. I started here, a long time ago, and I'll never forget with my family when I made the decision to go to school here at Wake Forest University. And my decision to go to Wake Forest University, it had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. People here probably know this story. I tell it all the time about Teron Downey. There was a point guard here before me at Wake Forest, and everyone thought I was crazy to say that I wanted to go to school here. Mr. Wellman, I don't know if you know, but NC State, that other school up in Raleigh, they told me if I came there, Coach Battle know because he was recruiting me, but they told me if I came to NC State, they would give me the ball. They said you wouldn't have to work for a starting position. If you said you're coming here, we give you the ball and you'd be the starting point guard here from day one. Well, I didn't choose to go there, obviously. I'm glad I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't, first of all. But when I made the decision to go to Wake Forest, it was bigger than basketball. I was the smallest thing on the team. I knew that I was going to have to work hard. I had dreams and aspirations to hopefully make it to the NBA, but to tell you the truth, for me, it was far-fetched. I remember my high school yearbook is still at my mom's house. All those people wrote in my yearbook, Chris, don't forget me when you get to the NBA. Don't forget me. But deep down inside, I didn't think that it would really happen. Some people walk around like I know it's going to happen. I didn't. I knew I was going to have to work hard. And going to Wake Forest, there was someone there in that position. So I went to school just thinking about after basketball. I was thinking about the education of it. I knew that a degree from Wake Forest would carry more weight from Wake Forest than any other school. So getting to Wake Forest, like I said, starting at the bottom of the totem pole, it was sacrifices. And that's a word that I'm still constantly battling with now with my new teammates in LA, and everything is about sacrifices. So when I got to Wake, it was a little odd in that I didn't leave. I didn't leave home. So my mom was still washing my clothes. She was working at Wachovia. She was still washing my clothes. It was one time she had went to see my brother play, and I needed to wash my clothes, so that's what my grandmother was for. My grandmother washed my clothes, so I stayed here at home. So my very first time ever leaving Winston-Salem was going to the NBA. I went to Oklahoma City, me and my older brother, and that's where I really had an opportunity to grow up. That's when I really had an opportunity to grow up and to start to become a man. Because that's the other thing too. I think one of the toughest things that I faced when I got to the NBA was, I'll never forget it. First of all, I was at Wake Forest, and my parents were working and different things like that. I used to work during the summer at my grandfather's service station trying to earn a living, and I made it to the NBA, right? So all of a sudden, I'm getting a pretty nice paycheck that I wasn't getting previously. And I think what happens a lot of times, especially in my profession, is at times people think that because you are the breadwinner in the family that you become the man of the house. That is definitely not the case. And it seriously wasn't the case for me. I think a lot of people thought because I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to make the money that I was making, that meant that I was going to make all the decisions when it came to my family. For me, it was still my father, my dad who's not here tonight, taught me everything that I know. I have a 4-year-old son of mine, and you may see he's right here, but he's been running back and forth. But I got it from my dad, but he knows, when I tell him to stop, he better stop. He better stop. And going away from home, me and my brother, my older brother, we really had to learn how to become men. And when I think about some of the decisions that I've had to make over the years, it always goes back to being here at home in Winston-Salem. And that's why when I see these kids in these different groups and they're singing and it's all about keeping you out of trouble. All about keeping you out of trouble. And that's why the Salvation Army is unbelievable, Dr. Carlson, and what you're doing for these kids. To have kids of my own, you don't appreciate it now. The kids, they don't appreciate it now, but I can honestly say that I appreciate the morning fun club that me and my brother used to be at Moore Elementary School. The afternoon fun club that we did after school, because in life it's all about values and what's important to you and what's valuable to you. And to me, the most important thing to me is family. It's family. And when I was a kid, I had an opportunity to, I'm not sure if you guys know the story, but me and my brother, we were in a dance group. And we used to perform all the songs from the Temptations. We used to do My Girl, and we did all those different things. And that's where you begin to mold yourself into the person that you are. I've had an opportunity to play in 2 Olympic games, and when I'm here at home and I'm in my parents' basement, and my dad is the king of finding old videos. He finds old VHS tapes, and he wants to show everybody every night when we're at the house. But those are really the times that I really can fall back on and dwell on. It's tough at times being away from home. I live in LA now, Los Angeles. I'm not complaining by any means. It's beautiful, but there's times where me and my wife, we have conversations about my kids, about my son and my daughter, how they're away from Winston-Salem and they're away from our family and stuff like that. And we just try to instill those different values in them. And the other thing too, that I wanted to touch on at the end of this is, it sounds very cliche or it sounds really crazy, but I had an opportunity to sign a new contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. What date was that? July 10th. They would know, wouldn't they? July 10th. I signed a 5-year deal to stay in Los Angeles. So the night before, I'll never forget it, was there with my family and my wife. And I spoke up, and I had tears in my eyes. Because it was a big step for not only for me, but for my family, but most of all for my kids. And for those of you in here that have kids and things like that, you understand that once you have kids, everything is about them. Everything is about them. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. my mom probably lets me know more than anybody that it's not about me, that it's just about my kids. But at that dinner, one thing that I said to everyone who was at the dinner and everyone that's on my team that helped my world go around was I said that we have to do more. And I guarantee you, everyone looks in the mirror and they say, I can't do more. You know, I'm already doing this, I'm already doing that. Like I said, we have a camp that's going on right now at Forsyth Country Day, and we have 260 kids. 260 kids over Forsyth Country Day from 7:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon, just running around playing, being kids. And I was talking to Miss Caldwell and Natalie before this started, and for me, I'm there all day. And I was telling my mom, even this afternoon, I got hungry because I'm playing with the kids all day. A lot of times it's not time to eat. And my mom was like, well, we got time. We can run and grab something to eat. And I told my mom, I said, Ma, I don't want to leave. I told her I don't want to leave because I always think back to when I was a kid. I wish I would have had an opportunity to go to an NBA players camp. I wish I would have had that opportunity. And I don't want to leave camp because I don't want a kid to come walking somewhere and see me driving away and think I'm going home or something like that, or to even for it to cross their mind to think that I'm leaving and not giving them my time. I say it all the time, monetary value is all good and well, but having a family now and having kids, the most valuable thing that I have or anybody in here has is your time. Because like you said, God willing, we don't know the day, we don't know the hour, but it can all be gone from us in the blink of an eye. So you try to cherish the moments that you have as much as possible. But like I said, do more. Do more. And that may mean $10, it may mean $15, but there are kids out here who need us, who really and truly need us. And the toughest thing for me and my wife at times is keeping a hand on my son, because obviously he's living a different life than I lived. He's living a much different life. But at the end of the day, one thing that can stay true to him and to everyone else is your values. That's something that, like Josh said, can't be compromised. Can't be compromised. Your values is something that doesn't have a price tag on it. So with all my heart, I thank you guys. I thank the Salvation Army, Dr. Carlson. I want to thank Miss Sylvia Adams for having me. Thank you guys so much. I'm so honored and privileged to be here. But if you don't remember anything else that I said here, just remember, do more. When you feel like you're too tired, when you feel like you've done everything that you could possibly do in that day, and I do it. I got home today and I looked at my mom and I said, I'm beat. I'm tired. I have nothing left. But, you know, I have to look in the mirror and do it myself and do more and do more. And with that, to close it, the last thing that I would like to do is, I don't know if you guys see that, it's on the table, right? It's on the table. Everybody has these little papers on their table, right? So, the guys doing a computer program, right? Computer program at the, I got one. Oh. Yeah, I see it, but I'm gonna tell them. So this computer program that they're doing at the center, so they need to raise, what is it, $65,000, right? $65,000 for this center. And I'm honored and privileged to say this too. Someone who I've always looked up to and is unbelievable is Coach Jim Caldwell. Coach Jim Caldwell, who I think spoke here a couple years ago, who is unbelievable. His family is unbelievable. So me, on behalf of me and my CP3 Foundation, we're going to donate $25,000. We're going to... No need to clap. And Miss Cheryl, if you don't mind coming up, please. Miss Cheryl Caldwell.
Jim and I are greatly pleased to partner with the CP3 Foundation, the Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army. We had started a foundation back in 2009, and we put together these learning centers. We have 3 in Indianapolis. We opened one up last fall at the Ken Carlson Center, And Robin and I have talked, and we are going to put another center at the international location on Walkertown Road. Like Major Allison said, it is so important to invest in our children. And that is kind of what our foundation is all about, just the educational empowerment of young kids with the digital age. These kids need to be part of it. A lot of times they're left out because they do not have technology at home. And this is a way that we can give back to the children and just preparing them for the future. So we are truly honored to present this $25,000 to the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club.
Hold on right quick. So I'm not a mathematician, but 25 plus 25 is 50, and we're trying to get to 65, right? Miss Adams? Yes. We're trying to get to 65,000. So those cards that are on there, you see it? Everybody see it? Don't start kicking it off the table or nothing like that. Everybody, if whatever you feel from your heart, if you can, please help donate, because it's about the kids. And I promise you I'm going to sit down, but touching off what Ms. Caldwell just said, I had an unbelievable opportunity to travel to D.C. Maybe 2 months ago with my father, and I spoke on a panel with Arnie Duncan, the Secretary of Education. And I felt like I was just so lost and behind, because we have an after-school program, the CP3 after-school zone in New Orleans, and the kids are, this whole technology thing is unreal now, and what the kids have in the classrooms and how fast and rapid it moves. And the panel was just talking about the fact that kids in a lot of schools don't have that technology, so they do get left behind. So with these computers and the different things that we're going to try to do in these different locations, the kids absolutely need it. So please know that it's truly going towards a good cause, and thank you guys. Thank you.
I know that a lot of you have been looking throughout the dinner tonight at this lovely basketball that Chris has autographed. And so we're going to give it to somebody here tonight. Well, we're not going to give it, right? We're going to auction this bad boy off, all right? You can actually kind of read that. We're going to start the bidding for this Chris Paul autographed basketball. Now, you realize who Chris Paul is, right? Best player on the planet, all that kind of stuff. So they've asked me to start the bidding at $1,000. Come on, you guys got to be coachable now. Now, where? You got to wave at me, because I don't see as well as I used to. All right, we got $1,000. What do you give? Well, how about $1,500? We got $1,000. Who'll give $1,500? Come on. Chris just said he thinks he knows everybody in here, and probably everybody already has an autographed basketball. All right? We've got what? Oh, no, we can't let that happen. Chris said he'd buy it himself. We're up to what? $1,500. Anybody give $2,000. We got $1,500. We can't. Got to jump up and down. Oh, now we're going to have a war between maybe these two tables. We got two. Who'll give $2,500? $2,500. You got to wave at me. I can't see. What? He's bidding against himself. He just said he would give $5,000 for the basketball. Now, he's the only one besides Chris who's raised his hand, so is anybody get involved here? $5,500. We've got $5,000, $5,500. 55, we've got 5, 55.